Hello, everyone. This is Dr. B from Steps to the Future, coming to you with college and career conversations with Dr. B. This evening, the main thing is I am going to do a quick overview of the PSAT results that all of your students received at the end of November. Actually, I think the students received theirs the first week of December, and teachers and counselors received them the end of November. Um, Before anybody sends me a comment and says, "Oh, you messed up," I noticed when I was typing really fast and when I was typing in the title College and Career Conversations, I put an extra letter in conversation. So I will go back and fix that later on. So for all those purists out there about spelling, and if you know me, I hate misspelled words. So I will go in and make sure I check that. So again, we're going to talk about PSAT results, what students should be doing once they receive their results, and then also a few things some of our juniors can be doing, getting ready for spring semester and getting ready to do some preparation for college planning. So come back and we'll have a quick conversation. Okay, and we are back. So, students took the PSAT. Now, in many schools, juniors took the PSAT, and sometimes ninth and 10th graders took the PSAT, and even sometimes eighth graders. There's an 8 and 9, and then there's a 10th PSAT. But then the main one is the one for juniors, and that's the one I'm going to be concerned with today. So, here's a sample of an actual report. I had to, black out the name, so ignore some of that. But here's what your students' 4-page report looks like that the schools receive. Now, students can go online and get a full online report. But this is the 4-page report that counselors get, and we use this for information. So this is the summary report. Everyone that has or that took the PSAT can download it. Just go to your College Board account and you'll look for test results, and you'll see the opportunity to download your test results there. So if you haven't done so already, if your student hasn't done so already, please make sure they do it. Okay. And on the front page, Grace is joining me this evening. On the front page, will have your school name, the school code, what grade you're in, your access code, which is very important because you'll need that for later on, and also your College Board ID. On the second page, so this is the second page of your score report. On the second page, it has your overall score. So you see here that this student received 1,300. And it's letting him know that out of the students who took the PSAT on that day, he's in the 96th percentile, which means he scored equal or higher than 96% of the students who took the PSAT on that particular day. And this was during the school day administration. So this was October 13th of this year. Again, so here you can see he has a 1,300. And the possible range of scores was from a 320 to a 1520. So this is pretty good for a junior. This is pretty good overall. His evidence-based, so your score is divided into two parts. Your evidence-based reading and writing score, and then your math score. And as you can see here, he has a 660 on the reading and writing and a 640 on the math. Then what it goes on to tell you, it gives you information about what that score means. So first of all, it tells him that in the evidence-based reading and writing, that he's in the 97th percentile. I remember that's the 97th percentile of the students that took the test that particular day. And for his math, he's in the 94th percentile, which again is really good. So for people who are just joining in, I'm just doing a quick overview of the PSAT results for juniors. PSAT results came in the first week of December for students. So it's on their College Board account. Counselors receive them, I want to say the last week of November. And so we're able to see what the scores are. And it's really important that students look at their scores and not just look at them, but also use those scores and decipher what those mean. So as I was saying, the student 1300, 1660, 660, and 640 for evidence-based reading and for math. Then it goes down and it breaks it down further into other pieces, but we won't go into that right now. And one of the things it does tell you, so you'll see that here, that you can go online to psat.org/myscore to get your full online report. And you really want that full online report because there's so much more information on there than what's on this 4-page summary. And again, it's letting you know that this score is it's not a test. It's a measure of how far you can grow. Okay. So that's pages 1 and 2. So let me just, right now, Grace has decided that she wants to join into the group. So she is all over in my face and she's gonna make me crazy over here. So let me see. I'm just looking to make sure I have the right page. Yes. So on the 3rd page of the PSAT, and this is what it looks like. Again, those that are just joining in, students have access to their PSAT reports on their College Board account, and they really need to look at them. So this is the 3rd page. So on one side, it's giving you some information about course recommendations, and it says, this is what you'll see also online. When you go to your online account, which is really important to do, you'll see some course recommendations. And it'll tell you, for this particular student, it says his scores show that they're ready to succeed in a range of AP courses. Then it also talks about scholarship opportunities. Learn more about the National Merit Scholarship Program. Also earn College Board Opportunity Scholarships just by planning for college. Free Khan Academy SAT prep. So what you will be able to do is to connect your results from the PSAT to Khan Academy and get a personalized SAT study plan. And of course, it's telling you not to forget about registering for future SATs. Now, for juniors, this is probably the most, not the most important part, but it's one of the reasons why the PSAT is more consequential, I guess you want to say, for juniors than for other grade levels. You see on this, there's a number here. It's the National Merit Scholarship Corporation. It's their selection index. And this particular student selection index is 196. This score is used as an initial screen of students who enter in its scholarship program. So it's telling this student, so if you do not have an asterisk next to it, which this student does not, it's letting this student know that they have met the initial eligibility requirements. Now, this final number will not come out until sometime, I want to say like the end of August or September of next year, of 2022. And it's by state. Each state has a cutoff. So the current ones for any of our states are not available yet, but you can certainly do an internet search to see what the cutoff dates were. The cutoff scores were in previous tests. So again, that's the score that's going to determine whether or not that index, whether or not a student qualifies for a scholarship, a National Merit Scholarship. And again, the numbers haven't come out yet. The final cutoff scores have not come out yet. And again, it's by state. So it just gives you some more information on here. On the last page, and this is a page that I think is really important, and of course, when the students go online, they're going to get even more information. This is your question level feedback. So on this last page, what students are able to see is the overview of how many questions they got right how many questions they got wrong on each section. For example, when I'm looking at this student's page, it is saying that on the reading section, out of 47 total questions, this student answered 37 correct and 10 incorrect and did not omit any answers. And that's important because there was a time when you took the PSAT or the SAT that you were encouraged not to guess, that if you didn't know an answer, you were better off leaving it blank, because back in the day, they used to deduct a quarter of a point from your multiple choice score if you got it incorrect. However, they don't do that anymore. So it's much better to take an educated guess if you're not sure, and especially if you're running short on time, and not leave any answer unfilled. So as I'm looking over the students' questions overview, I notice on each of the sections, he answered every single question. Okay, then it goes on, again, for the writing and language, then the math section using the calculator, and the math section without the calculator. Again, it goes through how many total questions, how many correct answers, incorrect answers, and so on and so forth. But this piece here, you see all of this chart and stuff on here. This is, again, breaking it down for students. So it's giving you the question number. It's telling you what the correct answer is. It's telling you what your answer is. And then it also tells you the level of difficulty for each question. So questions are ranked easy, medium, or hard. Okay, so you can go through this. You could get a lot of information. Now, one of the things, hopefully, is that you're able to get your test booklet back so that you can see how it matches up and what the question actually was. And as I'm looking over this student's score report, where you have an incorrect answer will be in red, and I'm seeing very little red on this student's score report. And as I said, for people who are just joining in, this student did really well, had a 1300 on the PSAT. So the next thing, several things that students need to do once they get their PSAT results. The first thing you need to do is you need to go online and get your full online score report, because it's going to have so much more information on there for you. The second thing you need to do is to link this PSAT score report to Khan Academy so that you can get your personalized study plan. It always amazes me when students take the PSAT or they take the SAT for the first time and they get their results back, and then they're telling me, "Oh, well, I'm going to retake the assessment." Okay, did you use the results from that first assessment to help you see where your challenges were? Now, I'm just going to take it again. No, do not do that. Don't let your student do that. They need to use the results from this current PSAT to help them figure out what areas they need to work on. So when I'm looking at this person's results, so let me see. I think out of all the sections that they got the most incorrect answers was actually the reading, because in the math, no calculator, the student actually only had 3 incorrect answers. So in the math overall, the student did really well, but did even better, again, score-wise, in the evidence-based reading, again, 660 versus 640. But what you definitely want to do is to go online to your full score report. Make sure you look at that, read everything it has on there, and then follow the directions that it will have on there on how to link your current score report to Khan Academy. And use that. Khan Academy right now, in my humble opinion, is the best online free test prep for the SAT. And that's because Khan Academy and the College Board have a partnership. So, of course, Khan Academy is making sure that everything they do is aligned perfectly with the work of College Board and their SAT. So please, please, if you don't do anything else, do that free prep. Do it, take advantage of it. Um, we've been having so many webinars from different colleges, and one of the questions that we always ask about is like, what do we tell students about testing? This year and last year, there was a lot of test optional because of COVID, because of the pandemic. Students were unable to take a test. So hopefully, um, the pandemic will lessen even more. Students are able right now to take tests, so it's important for them to do that. So if you have a student, if you're a junior, I would definitely suggest that starting in the spring semester at the latest, that you take your first SAT. And you can see all the SAT dates on College Board. So go on College Board and find that out. Take it in enough time so that you have time to take a second sitting if you need to. Many students do apply early to college, and if you apply early to college, you want to make sure that all your test scores are ready. Um, Even if a college says test optional, if you have the opportunity to take the test, we strongly suggest that you do so because they can help. If your score is in the mid 50% or higher, that may be a help to you. Now, if it's in the lower part, 25% and lower than 50%, then we usually strongly recommend that you don't send in those test scores. But again, it's really important for students to look at those test scores. Um, I am going to I was going to say, I am going to show you something for a hot second, but I think I will not do that right now. This is going to be a short one tonight. Everybody's getting ready for Christmas and what have you. So, quick recap, PSAT, ask your students if they took the PSAT to go to College Board so they can get their full online report, and they need to pay attention to the results on here. I am going to wrap this up quickly because I don't want to go on and on and on. But I got to have a book, right? I got to have a book. I have not read this yet. It just came in. I am so behind in reading books. I mean, I've got a list of books that is absolutely ridiculous. But this book just came in. Who Graduates from College? Who Doesn't? And it's by Mark Kantrowitz. For those of you that are not familiar with Mark Kantrowitz is probably the leading person on everything financial aid, on the FAFSA and what have you. So again, this is the book, Mark Kantrowitz, Who Graduates from College and Who Doesn't. So take a chance and make sure that you check out this book. And my battery is running low because I forgot to charge up my computer. So thank you everyone for joining me. Read this book, check your PSAT scores. Dr. B from Steps to the Future, where our job is to help families